how to stay dry, coordination, and posture. Let's break this down. So let's say you feel that sneeze coming on, and you know that that sneeze is going to be pushing, providing stress, pushing on that bladder, right? And you know that the last time you sneezed, at the end of the day, you had some leaking that came out. So we want to coordinate the muscles to activate prior to that squeeze, to kind of brace that urethra, brace those pelvic floor muscles to help better counteract that force that's going to be coming down. What we call this in pelvic floor therapy is called the knack, or squeeze and sneeze. So basically, you feel that sneeze coming on, you go ahead and squeeze and sneeze. It takes some coordination, but the more you do it, the more it becomes a pattern to squeeze and sneeze, or squeeze and cough, or squeeze and laugh, or squeeze and jump. The more you do it, the more it becomes a pattern, and then it can become a habit. Some of you may remember years ago, whenever we would sneeze, people would say, cover your mouth with your hand. Okay, that's what we used to do. That's what I learned growing up. When you sneeze, cover your mouth with your hand. And then hopefully you have a tissue or some disinfectant, or you're able to wash your hands after you have those germs. But then they came out with a new strategy, which is actually more functional. So when you sneeze, they want you to, the recommendation is to sneeze into your elbow. Okay, and what happens there is that now you don't have all those germs from your mouth on your hand. You have them here, and this is less likely to have contact with people. It took some time, it took some practice, it took some reinforcement, it took some motor learning to help remember, hey, when I sneeze, I'm gonna use my elbow versus my hand. So the same concept applies here. You can train your muscles to squeeze first and then sneeze, squeeze first and then cough, squeeze first and then laugh. You can train them. And the more you do it voluntarily and it becomes a habit, then ideally it's reflexive and automatic. So eventually maybe you don't even have to think, squeeze and sneeze. Your body's doing it automatically. That's the goal. So that's coordination. And then the second piece here is posture. So thinking about our body being kind of like a canister, and we have this intra-abdominal pressure inside our body, and you have the diaphragm on top, which is your primary breathing muscle, and the pelvic floor muscles on the bottom, which are your core. These are part of your core, and these muscles function best when you have good posture. All of your muscles function best when you have good posture. What happens if I'm standing like this? My abdominals aren't being engaged very well. I may start to have back pain. My pelvic floor is less likely to be engaged and do the right thing at the right time when I'm in a bad slumped posture. So applying this to leaking, having good tall posture, and with the things that you're doing, ideally helps to improve your pressure management system. It can also play a role with leaking. If you remember, I gave an example of somebody that may leak after 5 miles of running. So that may be an endurance issue, but it could also be a body mechanic and a posture issue. Have they changed how their mechanics are when they're doing that activity? Have they changed their body position? And a pelvic floor physical therapist or occupational therapist can help you be a detective and figure out, okay, what's happening. So please try DIY, do it yourself. I love that. We're here. That's why I'm teaching you guys this stuff. But if it's not enough and you're still leaking, let us help you. Okay, let someone that is specifically trained in this help you. If you needed a haircut and you tried DIY, you didn't like it, you'd go to an expert. Same concept here.